I do that shit every time. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Wero. So today we got somebody that needs no introduction, man. Everybody knows who Streetbender is. So we're gonna just bring him out. He locked in today. Let's go. What's up, big dog? Oh, you muted too. You good?
The host has unmuted your mic. I'm good, right?
You good. What's up, my man?
Cool.
I'm still getting the hang of some of this shit. I'm not that good at it yet.
I get it.
Yeah. So, like I said, this man needs no introduction. I mean, you can tell there's people in the live already in the chat. We normally don't have this many from the gate like this. So, you know, that's you, my man. That's you.
Shit.
So, Streetbender. Let's get into it, homie. Let's get into it.
Let's do
it. So where were you? Oh, look at him. Look at him go. Hit that shit. Hey, TME, that's why we're here, bro, to get to know people.
All right, I'm prepared.
So, I feel you. Good shit. So, where were you born, bro?
I was born in Citrus Heights, which is like Sacramento, basically. Been here forever.
Forever. How long's forever? How old are you?
I'm about to be 25 this year.
25. So you still live in the same exact area you were born, huh?
Yeah, my dad moved into this house when I was 3 months old, and I'm still there right now. So
when you were 2 months old, you said?
3 months old.
3 months old. God damn. You stay in the same house that you've been in for 22 years?
I mean, I went to school in the Bay Area, but then I came right back. Okay.
That's dope. Yeah. So you definitely got some roots up there. And I know we talked before, but your name there, 916 greater than 619, huh? Is that a shot at my man's?
He's coming for me, dude. He won't leave me alone. So you know what I mean? At this
point. He will. We damn sure gonna get into that too. We're gonna talk about that here in a few. So yeah, you grew up Citrus Heights, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How close is that to Sacramento? Because I'm not familiar with that area right there. Is that like
it's like literally Sacramento? Like I don't know how to explain it. Like because there's a bunch of places right here, like within miles of each other, like Roseville and Antelope and Auburn and stuff like that. I don't know if you heard any of those, but they're literally it's like
none of them.
I would just call it Sacramento because everyone knows Sacramento. No one knows every little city. You know what I mean?
We gonna just call it Sacramento because like when I say I just say I'm from Phoenix. I don't even fuck around with Mesa because most people don't know where Mesa at.
Right.
That's where I stay.
Yeah. No, that's actually why I went to Citrus Heights is because I know everyone just says Sacramento. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna be hella specific for no reason.
Yeah. I like it though. I like it. So, all right, born and raised out there in Sacktown. Went to school. What was growing up like for Streetbender?
Growing
like
up
at your school.
Growing up in my school. So I'm a twin. I don't know if
Shut the fuck up. No, we didn't know that.
Yeah, right. So
you are a twin?
Yeah, he's like tall and skinny and flamboyant. So just imagine that.
Let's pause on flamboyant. What do you mean flamboyant?
You know what I mean? Like he might Hey,
but go ahead. Let's spell it out.
Hey, the worst part is he also got like all the bitches growing up. So I don't know how that works, you know? Super flamboyant. Let's freaking super flamboyant.
Yeah. So he's that's so funny. You a twin. We didn't even know. So does he get confused for you at all? Like, is anybody ever like, oh shit, you Streetbender?
No, we're fraternal. We're fraternal, bro. We don't even.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
It's weird. I mean, you could tell if we're next to each other, you know, but.
Yeah. Well, how was it growing up with a twin?
I mean, it was interesting for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like you're, because I have 3 brothers, so I got a twin brother and then 2 older brothers.
How many people in the family? How many siblings? You said twin brother, 2 older brothers. That's it.
Yeah,
no girls.
Yeah. Nope.
Ooh.
I had a daughter. My brother had a daughter. So there's girls now, but
yeah, okay. So yeah, that's crazy, man. I had no idea you were a twin. I know a lot of us finding that shit out right now.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Does he practice martial arts? What's he into?
No, he's like on one.
What do you mean?
Nah, actually, to be honest with you, he's actually, so it's hella. I mean, shit, it's a podcast, so we're going. You know the show Intervention?
Yeah.
So literally the creators of that made a new show, but it's like about cyber addiction. And my brother like just got on that shit, and they did a whole show. They tried to get me on it, and I was like, no fucking way, I'm getting on that shit. So,
bro, why not? You should.
Dude, I did the interview, right? I did the interview because my brother's like begging me. I was literally at Ojai. I just got beat up by Mr. Nice Guy. As I'm like freaking getting out, like trying to talk to my family, my brother's calling me being like, hey, there's this show. I'm trying to get on it. Like, they need to do an interview over the phone. Like, I'm going to give them your phone number and all that shit. I'm like, bro, no. Like, I tried to
so you just fight Mr. Nice Guy, which we'll talk about that in a little bit, but it didn't go your way.
Right.
And then immediately afterwards, you get a call.
My brother does not give a fuck that I'm fighting or that I just fought.
No, he doesn't.
He didn't ask about what happened.
No shit.
Yeah, he's just like, can you do the show? And I was like, not going for it, but whatever. I basically was like, all right, I'll do it. I did the interview, and of course they fucking liked us. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a fucking, there's just hella detail into it. But once that happened, I was immediately like, yeah, fuck that, and just avoided all that. But basically throughout those months since then, this fool did like, he was out in Texas and did a freaking rehab program and shit. And then he came back, and now he's freaking kind of chunky. He's looking a little more like Streetbender.
So you look. So what you trying to say when you say he's on one? You mean buckets of drugs?
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, copious amounts of drugs.
Copious amounts of drugs. Sounds like my kind of dude.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like he handles it real well though. Huh?
Not the right kind of drug.
No,
not the party drugs, bro. Sad. You don't do those.
The sad
drugs.
Bummer for change kind of drugs. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, that sucks, man. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I mean, he's doing better shit.
Yeah, that's good. Hey,
but
positive at the end. So
all
right. So you growing up in a household.
I actually never answered your question, so I'll answer it real quick. Growing up,
no, that's what we was.
Growing up, it was like I'm really an asshole, more like the bully type, but I just don't want to be a bad person, so I just don't. But then my brother is like the perfect victim to be bullied, so then
it's just too easy. You can't help yourself.
No. That's what's funny is my brother would beat my ass. Like I got my ass beat by my gay brother in like 7th grade, so like I couldn't fight. I didn't know shit, and I was like, I'm a soft-hearted person. Like I didn't want to hit him. Like he's crying, you know. But then as soon as I turn my back, like snake me. Like that's the family. But basically he would get picked on or something, and then I'm like sick. I could fight his bullies, you know. Like that's just
yeah.
So you know that's pretty much how I got into fighting, I would say.
And so he is gay, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Because you just said gay, but you've been flirting. You've been flirting around with the idea.
He had girlfriends growing up, and then he went through this like drug gay thing, and then now not on drugs, he's going like he's not gay. But I don't know how you do all that. So
for drugs,
you want to.
You ever see a Half Baked? When Bob Saget's, I'll suck dick for coke.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of like that. I can imagine. I can imagine that's a thing.
Yeah, no.
Like, I mean, personally, I've never been that high.
Right.
But I can imagine that's a thing, though.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, my brother's like, I don't know. For a gay dude, he's like a dime. So you know what I mean? He just would like get what he wanted through being gay. I don't know how that works, but for sure.
He must be charming.
No.
Okay. No. So good. Yeah. So okay, you're growing up. You got a gay brother who's whipping your ass all the time.
Yeah. Nah, he's not whipping my ass all the time. My older brothers are whipping both of our asses.
Oh, okay, got you. That's where I was confused. So the older brother's whipping your ass all the time.
Yeah.
If you and your twin who's gay, he was a little flamboyant when y'all were younger. Did you have to
out the womb? I don't know.
He just
fell
out of pussy going, ugh.
Yeah, just freaking
just stay there.
Just like running with his hands like this, like
just super flamboyant. I ain't mad at it.
I don't know.
So did you have to protect him when you guys were younger? Like outside, away from the other brothers and shit like that? Was that kind of your job?
I mean, we more like work to get like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. He definitely wasn't like I was explaining, my brother's like, he seems weaker, but he's more like ruthless in his heart. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it would be more like I'm beating up the bully and then he's coming in and getting his licks too.
just stomping on him at the end.
Yeah. We're like 2 3rd graders fighting a 6th grader, like getting both our ass whooped by the 6th grader, but like we were going for it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. You and we'll talk about it later, but that attitude, that mentality has stuck with you, it looks like.
Yeah,
it really has. So all right, you growing up, you're doing your thing. You got this 2 older brothers, you said. How much older are they than you and your twin?
I think it's like 7 and 9 years older, something like that.
Okay. So
like, or maybe 6 and 8. I don't know. I don't fucking keep track. But they're in their 30s. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So you guys grew up together, like pretty much.
Yeah. So like my brother, he actually looks more like my twin. He's like, imagine looking like me, but Shinigami size. You know what I mean? Like that's who my older brother is. He's like 360, 6 foot, but like my face.
Huh.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know if Shinigami that big.
He was.
What do you
before. He's in good shape now, but he was at like 340, I think.
Well, hey, slow the fuck down. He ain't in good shape. Let's. He's in better shape, but his motherfucker ain't in good shape. I love me some Shinigami. No, I love me some Shinigami, but he ain't in good shape. Ain't like he can fight, but he ain't in good shape. Let's.
All right, compared to my brother, he's in great shape.
Okay, that's saying something.
Okay.
So, all right. So you grew up with them. Y'all are doing your thing up in Sacktown. When did you first start getting into actual martial arts?
So I did wrestling in like 7th grade, and then, what was it? Maybe 7th, 8th, and then like 10th, and then my senior year.
Okay, so you have a wrestling pedigree. Now I had heard that before, but I didn't know how deep it went.
So like. So I would say 3 years of it, I wasn't learning shit. I just had a coach that like didn't give a shit. But then my senior year, I just took it hella serious, and I was like trying to like see what I could do. And I lost I was like 235 the beginning of the year, and then for the wrestling season, I was like 187, and then wrestled at 197.
Okay, what are you sitting at right now?
Why'd you say that? Like fucking
so people want to know, Streetbender.
Man, bro, I'm honestly in like fucking horrible shape. I'm like 260 right now.
260, okay.
And I fluctuate like crazy. Like all I have to do is try, and I'll be at 230. It's kind of like sick that I just don't even try.
That's dope. Come on, Wero, he in good shape. LOL just said. So let's just keep it fucking real right now. Jimmy Fit, the only one in good shape in this whole organization, bro. That's it. The rest of us riding on this motherfucker's coattails. I seen him jump in the air and kick the ceiling one time. Like, ain't none of us in good shape like that. That's good shape. We just
and even then, it's like that breaks down cardio wise too, because that's a lot of muscle he has to carry around. It
is, but I mean, there are drawbacks.
Still way better shape than all of us will ever be. Bro.
Hell yeah. Oh, here we go. Real line. Let the people know I'm not 285. Well, what are you? Because we hear it all kind of.
Yeah, 225.
Hearing all kind of numbers about Real Line.
Is it still heavyweight? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Well, Real Line not heavyweight anymore. I don't think he is.
I didn't think he was ever heavyweight. I thought he was 205, but
his wife had a baby.
Huh?
His wife had a baby, and he gained some weight. He got a little puffy from that baby weight, bro.
You guys got to just let him have that. You can't even ask him to cut that weight.
Nah,
he's still
it'll cut. Yeah,
that's baby weight. It'll come.
Yeah, he got a few months of not getting any sleep. That shit'll cut itself here soon. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
he'll walk laps.
Right. So okay. Back to growing up, getting in martial arts. You're wrestling. Around what age did you decide? Okay, I'm gonna start looking at actual martial arts, like as a whole. Sorry, not actual martial arts, but like MMA, striking. When did you want to put some striking?
All right, so striking. There's no striking. I still never really. Yeah, like I don't know, but I was watching like UFC.
What do you mean by that? There's still no striking. What do you mean by that?
I've done like a few personals with the coach.
Mm-hmm.
And it was even a Muay Thai coach. I was trying to learn Muay Thai, but I was so ass. He's just like, let's try to work on your boxing. And then outside of that, it's like I just been fucking winging it. You know, I don't.
Huh. Okay.
I watch a lot of videos, and you know, I'm not like I'm self-aware enough to go like, okay, this is where I could be better and slowly do that. But
okay, so no formal striking
ever, yeah,
at all. Okay.
And then even with like grappling, I think that's where I fucked up with Shinigami. Is like I was telling this fool, I got wrestling, but that's not jujitsu. That's not MMA. Like I'm going into MMA not really knowing shit, basically.
And we definitely gonna talk about those Shinigami fights here in a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, you know we are. So, and then you got okay, so you mostly wrestling. How'd you hear about Street Beefs?
Right. So that's what I was gonna say. So, like literally since I was a little kid, like I'm just like a YouTube kid. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I mean, I remember Face just saying something about there was a different name for Street Beef, so I wasn't that new. I don't remember it being whatever the name was before, but I was, back in the early days, freaking watching Street Beefs and like UFC. I was into UFC at a young age. I would say like, you know, like the Keith Jardine days, Chuck Liddell, all that shit. You know, I was just a little kid growing up. Like my dad would go to his friend's house, we'd watch the pay-per-view and shit. So I get into it like that, but I was just like, I'm like a fan or something, you know what I mean? Not really a active.
He asked if you come into the next invasion.
Oh, I want to, but I swear to you, every time I talk to Steve, it's like he just wants me to get killed. I don't know why. Like what I did to make him angry, but
he just wants a
this
big
was
fight.
Like, do you want Terrifier or no? Like, no.
No. Yeah. So,
he's like Terrifier or Real Lion. It's like I'm not trying to go to sleep in the invasion
or get dropped on your head.
Yeah, right.
So
still go to sleep.
Yeah. You hear about Street Beefs pretty much all growing up. It sounds like.
I just always like watching it. Yeah. So
how you said you have a daughter?
Yep.
How old is your daughter?
She's 3.
Has she ever seen your fights? She ever watched them?
So my last MMA fight, like the last one I was ever gonna do, I did for, I don't know if we're allowed to say Roka, but it was a different street thing. And so,
you can say this is. Yeah,
I was just,
this podcast is not street. Yeah, it's probably just not street.
I was just fucking around, but what's it called? So it was in Sacramento, so I was really just trying to get all my family to come, and then I got my daughter to come, but like she didn't care. I don't even think she watched it. I mean, like she wasn't really like paying attention like that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
she was there.
Are you so? Now we've all seen your girlfriend that you bring around all the time. Is she the mother of your child? No. Okay. How old? You're 26, so you had your child at 23.
No, I'm 24.
Oh, 24.
I'm turning 25. But
okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But so I split like with the baby mama when she was like 1 or a little younger than 1, and so and then I was with my girlfriend like pretty soon.
Gotcha.
Pretty soon. Been with her pretty much.
Yeah, how'd you guys meet? I know we all normally I don't ask specific questions about others, but we all kind of know her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She's literally she's been to, like all my fights. She's for sure like she support like I don't know if I could fight without her. She's definitely helped through all this shit. But what's it called? I was a security guard at Walmart and she was a cashier. Oh,
dope. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. And Streetbender just rolled up spitting some game, huh?
Yeah, nah. I mean, I don't know if you've really talked to her that much, but she's from Fiji. She like came out here. Maybe like when my daughter was born. Like she migrated out here, but she's been in Fiji her whole life.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then so talking to her, it was like, I don't know. I don't have game as it is, so it helped out it being awkward in general, but I was security, so I just pretend like I need to be at the door when she has to she's cashier, so she'd have to give a break to the person that's the freaking receipt checker. So whenever she was receipt checker, I'm just like, oh yeah, I have to stand by the door. But nobody tells me shit. Yeah, I'm just like
fucking plotting.
Like, what was that, boss? All right, yeah. I'll stay there 15 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And she's been at a good chunk of your fights, pretty much all of them. I don't think I've ever seen her not at one. So let's my first fight,
I went with my friend that I've known since I was 5 years old, and that was the only person I went with. But other than that, I think she has been to every fight. Or no, actually, I don't think she was there when I got my ass whipped. So
TME said, "Nice job, Streetbender."
Hey, no, so this was my game. So she played PUBG Mobile on her phone, and she was hella good at it. And then I just was like pretending like I fucking cared at all about that game. And then, you know,
did she ever? Is she finding out right now that you didn't give a shit?
No, I think she figured out like not right away, but pretty quickly.
Found out she was fronting real quick. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so your and I tried to look at all your fights and find all your fights, and I think I got them. So
all of them,
first 2 fights. No, just your Streetbeefs fights. So I didn't get the Strelka fight or anything like that, or anything other.
Yeah, there's only 2 fights that aren't Streetbeefs. So
what do you? Were they both Strelka?
No, one was Strelka. The other one was freaking. It was against a Streetbeefs dude, the one that fought Duva Creature. I don't know if you when he was in Ojai, but it was in the Ojai cage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. That's dope.
Yeah.
So Shinigami, that first fight, how did that come about? Like, I vaguely remember you talking your way into that fight as a new dude fighting the champion.
Dude, like, and this is what I try to tell guys, but they just don't listen. Like, and I've been at the Stroke event talking to Jimmy Fit about this. I'm going like, bro, you get so much farther with honey than vinegar. Like, I don't know why you guys have this like approach, but that's not the way to go about anything. So pretty much I just like, honestly, I never thought it would happen. To me, it's like I said, I'm a kid watching Street Beefs, but I'm a fan, so I didn't think there was a way to get onto it. I didn't understand it. I knew it was like East Coast, so I never really thought I would ever fight like that, you know? Mm-hmm. But then I literally watched the Shinigami fight, like on Street Beefs, saw there was a West Coast thing, and I was like, how the fuck? Like, I'm on the West Coast. Like, somehow I could travel there. So then I figured out that you guys do groups. I got into the group, and I was like every other fucking just stupid guy. As soon as I got into the group, hit the post like, I'm trying to fight Shinigami. How do I do it? On the post. You know?
I fucking remember that shit too. I was like, who is this turd?
Yeah,
we made fun of you for that shit.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, it's hilarious thinking back.
Absolutely.
And then the funniest part is like, I was just persistent. I was like, all right, that didn't work. You know what I mean? So I'm like, how does this work? You know, like who does what? Like, I was just basically trying to investigate, figure shit out. And then I eventually was like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to direct message these people. I hit up Shinigami like, yo, what's up? I'm trying to fight. I think what happened was I was trying to fight, but they said he already had a fight with Trap Gambino or whatever, right? And then I saw on the group, because I was in it, that it fell out. And then I hit up Shinigami as nice as possible. Like, hey, man, I heard you don't got to fight. Like, oh, my bad. I hit up Tiny Tank. And I was like basically just pleading with Tiny Tank to fight. Like, I just wanted to fight. Yeah, and he was basically like, oh, man, there was like, I don't know, I fucked it up or whatever. Like, I missed the timing or whatever. But G Sosa had already fought, I think 619.
Yeah.
And freaking G Sosa was trying to fight me, and Martin, I saw a comment because I was watching everything on the feeds, right? Martin hit a comment saying something to G Sosa about him being able to come. So then I hit up G Sosa like, hey, you trying to fight me? Like, I will show up for sure. You know, G Sosa's like, yeah, I'm down. So then I hit up Martin, was like, bro, I will drive all the way to Vegas. He's like, look, he's like, you're not selected, none of this. He's like, but all this process, if you show up and he shows up, you can fight. You know what I mean? And I was like, So after that, I literally off the couch was like, I got to train because this was about to knock my head off. And started training. I was probably like a week in, and then I saw that the Trap Gambino thing fell out. So then I hit up Martin again, like, hey, I'm even down to still fight G Sosa, like whatever, but also super interested in the Shinigami fight. He was like, I don't think it could happen or whatever, but you know, we'll keep an eye for it. And then I hit up Shinigami again, and it just worked out. You know, I didn't push it past that. I just let it happen. And then it was hella weird. It was like 8 at night, maybe like, I don't know how, a week before the event.
Mm-hmm.
And Martin hit me up like, hey, bro, you still want that Shinigami fight? And it was a weird ass day. I was like, man, I couldn't, it was crazy that it worked out that way. I'm literally talking to my dad, like super hyped about it, right? Like, this man's like breathing heavy, not really listening to what I'm saying. And I'm like, just so freaking in my own zone, hyped about the Shinigami fight. Yeah. I'm not noticing my dad's like literally like having like chest problems and all that shit. So the same night I agreed to the Shinigami fight or whatever, my dad's like, yeah, he hits me up like 3 a.m., like wakes me up. It's like, can you drive me to the ER? And then like this fool ended up having a heart attack. And that was like kind of the beginning of freaking, I was literally like running around the hospital. Like I got to make weight, but also they wouldn't let me in because of COVID. And I'm kind of losing it because my dad's like my rock. So I freaking just was like training my ass off for like off the couch that 7 days. I was just like a monster until that first Shinigami fight.
So, and there was a comment up here. Boom, right there. Streetbender beat Shinigami the first fight. Don't fucking at me. Now, there's a lot of controversy over that fight. Okay, and I very, very, very clearly remember that fight. Shinigami turned around and you stroked the back of his head a couple times.
Yeah, I kicked him in the back of the head.
He covered like this. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of people that at the very least should have felt that should have been 8 count. Like you turn around, you hide from your opponent like that.
Well, you can't with MMA. You got to just stop it or let it go.
Yeah, exactly. In a lot of our opinions, you won that fight in that round right there. So how do you feel about it? Like, I know that's probably played over in your head before. How do you feel about it?
Well, how I feel about it is I really feel it went how it was supposed to go. I understand, like, I would love to have won, but when I look back at, like, what I've done the last year, like, if I just came in, got the fucking belt that first fight, I probably would have just got knocked out by Nasty Native the next fight and then just not have fought Streetbeefs again. You know, like, I don't know. It would have been, or rematch, lose to him again, and then, I don't know. It would have just, there was, like, the way it went, it made a fire under me that, like, I still am, like, going for that belt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, like I said, a lot of people feel like you won that first fight. But let's move to the second one. How did that rematch happen? Who pushed for that rematch? Was it you?
No, Shinigami is a fucking genius, and this is why it's like, I was playing checkers, he was playing check. He's a nice guy, and he's just like getting information while we're talking, and I'm just like giving it like it doesn't matter because I'm not realizing like this man really has me beat all over, right? Like size advantage, height advantage, weight advantage, blue belt. You know what I mean? Did the karate shit. I just had the like grit of like, you know, I'm trying to freaking, one of us are dying in here. Like, yeah. So that thing helped me with striking, but I don't think it was like any formal stuff like that. So I wasn't trying to rush into it, but Shinigami had hit me up and was like, can you make December? And was really trying to push for the December. And I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. And then I tried to get as prepared as I could, but like I had already explained to him I don't do jiu-jitsu, and he's like a blue belt, and I didn't realize how much like I just blew my whole wad telling him that
yeah. No disrespect whatsoever, but Shinny Rise to Fame is pretty lucky. It's very, very, very fucking lucky. Like, yeah, it's extremely lucky. No. Think about it. How many head kick knockouts has the Street Beef seen?
Right, but is it so lucky
viral?
That a guy weighing 340 in a karate outfit comes in a backyard, goes against another guy, everyone's assuming this guy's going to get beat up, and then hits a fucking ferocious head kick knockout in 2 seconds? It's like a perfect recipe, you know?
It was a perfect recipe. It was very lucky. I'm not saying his kick wasn't – it was lucky. You know what I mean? It was a well-timed kick. That's what he does.
Yeah.
But it was the perfect storm to create that fame. You know what I mean? Like, look at all the heavyweights that have.
Like, yeah, I don't know how much of it is Shinigami, like, intentionally doing that. It doesn't, like, some of it, like, yeah, but I think a lot of it, it really was just happenstance, you know? Like,
yeah, I think
he's just the type of dude to do what he did, and then it just worked out that way. He got the matchup, and everything just, it
did.
Timing was perfect.
So, you said something a couple minutes ago that I have to disagree with just as loud as possible. You said that Shinigami had you beaten in all areas because he's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu and
well, look, not in my head. not in my head. Like I wasn't like beat, but I'm going like.
But what I'm saying is not on paper either.
Yeah,
he doesn't. He doesn't. You guys were a very solid match. Your wrestling was just as so we're looking for effective towards him as his jiu-jitsu was to you. So on that second fight, which is what we're going to talk about now, you did a very good job of managing the ground game. You were very good when it came to maneuvering. You almost had him a couple times. He almost had you. Like, you very clearly mounted him, took side control because you were kind of ducked down, and everybody was screaming at you, pull your head up, pull your head up, pull your head up, and you didn't. You took side control where you knew your head was fairly safe, and then you pull your head up, and then you put your knee on his wrist and started punching him in the face. You know what I mean? Like, your wrestling and some of your jiu-jitsu was fun.
Well, and so I live in Sacramento, so this is like where Uriah Faber is. You know, from he has gyms out here, all this stuff. And my friend that I came with my first fight, this fool was like, I think he's a blue belt now. He wasn't at first, but he was really good jiu-jitsu. He's got really good Muay Thai. He's gonna like be something legit in MMA one day. But when I first did all that shit, I was like going to that Uriah Faber gym, working with him, and I was going in and just doing the jiu-jitsu class. I'm still a white belt, but I did like one gi class, and then I did a bunch of no gi classes. Yeah. So like, it's not that I've never done jiu-jitsu or anything like that. I'm not like, I didn't consistently do it like I did with like wrestling or anything.
Yeah. Well, all I'm saying is on paper and physically, realistically in those cages, your ground game was just as much of a match for him as his was yours. Yeah. Honestly, your striking as well. Like, just the sheer amount of volume you put on him was incredible.
Well, right before that fight, that's when so I don't know if you know Kilo or if you've heard of Kilo.
Yeah.
But basically, I hadn't even got the Shinigami fight yet, and I was just posted onto the Streetbeefs group like, does anyone want to spar? Kilo hit me up. He's like a little dude, but that fool was freaking a killer. So he was like whooping my ass, and he's like 140. And I also met up with Coupe d'Etat. We all met up and just sparred each other.
Coupe d'Etat, I love that guy. He's so fucking funny, bro.
Hammers.
So
that fool
funny,
hit like
bro.
a freaking truck.
He does.
And it's like he's clearly like we're sparring. You could tell he's like lightening up, and you're like, dude, that's still dazing me. But yeah, he's just got hammers. But so I met up with them, and basically I was telling them my idea, like wanting to fight Shinigami, and then after I got that first one, Kilo hit me up and was like, hey, my coach watched your fight. Like, he wants to get you ready for that second one. He thinks you could beat Shinigami. Like, you should beat him. He thinks you won the first one or whatever. And so I was like, cool. And so that's when I went and was like doing the classes with him and trying to learn how to strike and stuff like that. And then I even worked with him a little bit for the Mr. Nice Guy fight. But then after that, I've just been being lazy.
We're about to jump to Mr. Nice Guy fight. But before we get there, I do have a question. You said when you first Shenny fight, he wasn't feeling well and everything. What happened after that in that regard? Like,
what do you mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, he wasn't breathing good and he was feeling like he had like chest pains or whatever. But my dad's the type, like, he's not trying to go to the hospital for nothing. Like, literally, even that, you know what I mean? But so he just was like, I kept checking on him, but he kept saying he's all good. He's just laying down. And then, he ended up, it was like that next morning going to the freaking hospital, and like he had a heart attack. They had to put a freaking, whatever that thing's called, a stent.
Oh, they put
artery to open up the valve. He had like 2 valves that were blocked.
Yeah. But he's doing good now, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, I dedicated that first fight to him, and but he's all good. He's been to the hospital since. Like, he was just at the hospital again with his heart out of rhythm. But I mean, he's good, all things considered. I mean, he went to work this morning and all that. So
okay, good. Yeah, my mom has heart issues. She's got 19 stents in her heart.
Oh my God.
I'm dead serious. She got like a punch card in that motherfucker in her own chair and
That's
everything.
Crazy.
Nuts. Yeah, she in there all the time, though. Okay, now let's jump to the Mr. Nice Guy fight. I did one, how did that fight come about? Because I remember everybody looking into it and going, who the fuck are we going to have Streetbender fight next? Like, he's already fought, Shinigami twice.
I know. And
who does he
that's
fight
what you guys don't understand. I was like,
you started on
that's
top.
where I didn't realize I screwed myself. I was like, I have to go against a killer. I was like, no. That was like, because like, I don't know how to explain this. Like in my head, right? I'm like a kid watching, well, I'm not a kid, but watching the YouTube, see the Shinigami, and I'm just like, oh, I could fight that guy. But like delusionally. But then I'm really in this situation where I fought him twice and I'm like doing street beefs and I didn't even know how it happened. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll keep fighting, but then, yeah. So I'm like, I want to see what a real cage is like. Let me get into Ojai. And I signed up for that event. And I can't remember. I think it was Alex. And Alex is freaking, I swear, Alex and Martin are the nicest people ever. But Alex hit me up saying like, hey, you got to fight. And we don't do, pre-matches or whatever. But I was freaking, you know how it goes, certain situations. You build it up, whatever. So I was at the Ojai one I just lost, and Wild Goose had just knocked out Kid Filth. And so they were like, that's the fight. He
sent that motherfucker to the shadow realm with that elbow, bro.
Right. And so everyone's like, that's the fight to make. And
Streetbender's like, no, the fuck it's not.
Bro, I had this feeling they were gonna be like that, right? But that's why I was like, really, like, are you guys gonna let me know? And then Alex is finally like, all right, bro, I'll let you know. And then once he told me, and then saw I react, I'm like, this is why they don't tell anybody.
Yep.
But the thing is about me is it really didn't matter if it was Messenger or not. Like I would, even if they matched me up right there, you know what I mean? I know where I'm at. I know what I'm, you know what I mean? The only thing where I did fuck up is I underestimated Mr. Nice Guy. I'm like,
that dude's an animal,
basically, bro. This is what my thoughts were. Is I was like, I have to fight a guy that's legit. They're not giving me any other option. Wild Goose just knocked some dude out. So let me pick someone that's just, he doesn't knock people out.
Yeah.
So then
his name's literally Mr. Nice Guy.
Right. And then not realizing like, bro, they gave him legit ass fighters. And then he was in dog fights every time. And I'm in horrible shape. But it lit a fire into me because I lost I was chilling probably I was 260 something the first Shinigami fight. And then like 256, 57, the second Shinigami fight. And then for Mr. Nice Guy, I got to 224 because I was like, I wasn't going to play around with that dude. But
yeah, Mr. Nice Guy is very, very, very well-rounded. Like he's a very, very well-rounded fighter.
Yeah.
And I noticed we got Boyka in here too. Him and Boyka would be a good match.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Might be the most technical light heavyweight MMA match that we could probably have, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that would be fire.
Yeah, absolutely. So you get beat up by Mr. Nice Guy, and then during that time, I know you and I talked around that time. I can't remember exactly when it was, but you and I talked. We had a little heart to heart, and you told me during that time that one of your biggest fears was getting knocked out, and that your dad was also extremely worried about you getting knocked out. You had to tell him some stuff.
Yeah, well, and it's like it's a wrap. I just want to keep fighting. And if I get knocked out, I'm just not fighting anymore, And I just was really not trying to not fight anymore, because it's fun, It's not. And
you told him that, right? I think I remember you telling me that you promised your dad if you get knocked out, you'll quit fighting.
Yeah. And I mean, that's all my family, because I don't know. I just felt like it's right. Little did I and this is what I mean by naive. Like the rest of my body is still getting fucked up in the process.
It takes a beating, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you have this. Like, that's a weight on your shoulder. That's a lot of extra stress. Like, don't get me wrong. None of us walk into a fucking cage and go, I think I'll get knocked out today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you do have that added stress of now, if you do get knocked out, you have to quit fighting.
Right.
You made that promise. So how do you balance that? How does that affect your nerves? Especially that first fight with Shinigami. Like what's the evolution of your nerves and how you handle those for the next?
Have you ever gambled before?
A couple times, yeah.
I don't know. I'm a bad gambler, but I feel like it's the same idea where it's like I'm more of like I just keep going until I lose. I keep going till it's so obvious I gotta stop. So I pretty much am like delusionally. Now, if I was fighting Wild Goose, it would weigh heavy. That's why I just am not trying to fight a person where I'm like thinking about like this fool already does that. That's a thing that's in his arsenal. I've seen it happen, and I could be with Shinigami, right? I was legitimately thinking, I'm like, Detail looked all right after the head kick. Like that's what I got in my head. Like his eyes weren't closed. Like he was okay. So I thought worst case scenario, like I lose, but I'll be all right. You know, like so.
Yeah, it was, and for the most part, you see shit coming and you cover well. So you keep your hands up. That's what I told you. Keep your hands up. Chances are you're not going to get knocked out. So they set up a match with Peso. Okay, let's talk about Peso, Sosa, and Cimarron.
Okay. So Peso's hilarious. Another one. Like I said, I don't box. I don't know nothing about boxing. And they want me to go with Takamura. He hasn't fought, but I've seen his videos on Streetbeefs Westcoast. And I'm like, this dude looks like he boxes. Like he didn't do MMA. He didn't do something else. He boxes. Yeah. So immediately I'm like, that's just, it doesn't sound amazing to me. Peso was already trying to fight me. And I thought, okay, he's another MMA guy. We'll both just, you know, be figuring this stuff out on the job. Literally, I know when we started, I'm like, what the fuck did I get into? This fool was throwing like fucking hella punches. I didn't even know what to do. Bro. I didn't even know what to do. I was like, just don't get hit by these. That's all I was thinking. Like, I'm losing this round. There's not much I can do. Try not to get completely gassed out and don't get hit as much as you can. That was my whole thought process. And then I don't know what happened the second round. I was like, what? Basically, I was like, so here's what's funny. I watched the Shinigami fight when he does the head kick or whatever. And I know everyone's like, oh, that's so cool. I was more impressed with Mook. You know what I mean? Mook was like, I saw him do that to the one dude. And I was literally like, this is the coolest fighter I've ever seen ever. So then when I met him before the first Shinigami fight. And he was just hella humble. Like I was telling him like, oh yeah, I'm fighting Shinigami. And it's like, you could tell in his head, he's like, uh-oh, Detail too. But he was like super cool. Like, also, you know, I don't know. It's just like you could tell he's like. You
just got that vibe from me. He's like, "Good night, Streetbender."
No, I could tell like that's what. But he was positive about it. And then after he was like super cool. I mean, everyone after was like, "Oh shit," you know. It wasn't a Detail number 2.
Bro, but you put in a fucking fight. Like you made him fight. Like legitimately, you made him fight. And there's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot of people that believe you won that first fight. I'm one of those people. I believe that first fight was yours.
Oh yeah.
He did very clearly beat you in the second match, but that first fight, that was yours.
Yeah, and that was I beat myself. Like I do that. I've done that hella times in wrestling too, where like I have a mental lapse where I'm just like fuck it, and I do the dumbest thing, and I just screw myself the whole. So once I threw him on top, it was like
I wouldn't say that was too much of a mistake because he did try to get you in. What's it called? Is it Kimura Americano? What is it called?
Yeah, key lock, I think.
Whatever the fuck it's called, I don't know. I punch people. I don't ball people up in knots. So whatever it was, he tried to get you in it maybe 2, maybe 3 times, and you worked your way out of it the first couple times. Honestly, I think that third time he just caught you because you were a little bit more tired.
Yeah. Well, the other times it was like we were in scramble position. I'm good at wrestling with the scramble. So I was better, but that last time I pulled him on top of myself and I was carrying 300 pounds on me, and I was like, I'm not in good shape or nothing. So it was pretty much like I couldn't do stuff. Versus other times, it's like he never had his full weight on me, so I could slip out and like move. You know what I mean? But where we were at was the Peso fight. And the reason I brought all that up was because of Mook, because I asked Mook to be my corner. And he had just fought Diesel. I was freaking, and this was the best part is I went to Andre Nicotina. I don't know if you know who that is, but I listened to him growing up. He was my first concert I ever went to out here in Sacramento or ever. And so he had a birthday party. Mook fought Diesel at his birthday party in a boxing ring. I was like the cut man. And
I watched that fight live. That was somebody, I can't remember who it was. Somebody was in my DMs asked me if I wanted to fight on that card, but I was like, nah, too old for that shit.
Yeah, I feel so I was trying to get I was the cut man for that anyway. So I was talking to Mook more. We were chopping it up. So I hit him up that Peso fight, saw that he was like a good boxer. Obviously, he got a knockout with the punch, did great against Diesel. So I was like trying to have him help me corner. And I was pretty like, I was in a weird place after that first round. Like, man, I just got my ass whipped. Like, what's going on, you know? But Mook's like, focus here, bud. Like, all you got to do is throw something. Like, what are we doing? You know, I mean, like, throw, you know, like, try to punch him in the face, then body when he's moving and stuff like that. So he kind of woke me up to that, and then I came in with a different fire that second round, and I could tell something in Peso's eye. Maybe he blew his wad or he was hurt, or I don't know what happened, but there was something where he was like, there wasn't that freaking he's trying to kill me. So that's when I turned up, and then it got stopped right after that. I'm still kind of confused on that, but
yeah.
So yeah, it was an awkward fight.
Read some of these comments. Yeah, Mook, I'm right there with you. The best and most talented Streetbeefs West Coast fighter for sure, in my opinion. And then Boyka, Jimmy Fit, his fight name is Boyka, Boyka, I believe. So let's talk Cimarron. Now Cimarron is straight up just a clean ass boxer, bro. Like he's nice.
Is that the order? Because I can't even remember. Did I fight Cimarron or G Sosa?
I got Sosa at it. That's when it was posted. It was posted 6 months ago, and Cimarron 5 months ago. I can't see a date the fight happens.
No, it was. It was G Sosa first. Mm-hmm. Or I mean, right? Is that what you're saying? You said G Sosa 6 months ago, and then Cimarron.
Yeah.
But I don't care. We could go to the Cimarron, whatever you want to.
Oh, let's talk about Sosa.
Okay. So the Sosa one, it was like that was a long time making. You know what I mean? Like I was supposed to fight him and not fight Shinigami. So for it to come out like that, I mean, he was. I knew there. It was kind of the same thing as the Wild Goose, where it was like they weren't. I think it was because of the past things too, because I'm freaking badgering them about who I'm fighting. That they're like, we don't know, we didn't make the matchup, whatever. Like they make it day of, which I get it. I mean, it's a Streetbeefs rule or whatever.
Yeah.
But and then I went to the sparring day before when they do the, what's it called, at the Fitness 23. I was talking WA and stuff, but I already knew I had G Sosa. I just didn't know like how we were doing what. And so the day of, like I knew, I could tell. I was just like, you know, there's only so many people my way. It just added up. So then the day of, they're like, yeah, you know, I think we're gonna match you with G Sosa, but he hadn't showed up yet. So it was like, who knew, you know?
Yeah.
And then when he finally showed up, this was like down for MMA or boxing. I'm like, no, thank you. It's like boxing. I'm a boxer now. I box only.
Yeah.
And then that fool was down for boxing. So then we did the boxing, and I knew I was gonna fight what's it called soon too.
Cimarron?
I think I must have fought Cimarron first, because I remember
you fought Cimarron at the OG yard, and that was only in October.
No, you're talking about Ryu.
Ryu Center.
Yeah. Yep. But what I was saying is, like my hand's been messed up since like the Mr. Nice Guy fight. So I was like trying to heal it, but keep fighting. So then when I got the G Sosa fight, I knew that I was gonna fight Ryu, and I wanted my hand to be as good as it could be. So, in my head, I was just like 4-ounce gloves. That's how I messed it up originally, right, on Mr. Nice Guy's forehead. So I was like, probably don't want to do that with G Sosa. So I was like, yeah, let's box. But maybe I did squeeze in Cimarron in there. I don't know. I don't remember shit.
Yeah,
too many fights.
It was posted. Yeah, it was posted. Sosa then Cimarron. So
okay. So I think
and that Sosa fight was a long time in the making.
Oh yeah, no, and I fought Cimarron literally like within freaking a week or two of Ryu Center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like it was hella quick. It was like right after the West Coast event, I did the freaking East Coast.
You know what? I remember that.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the order. Okay. Yeah. So with the G Sosa fight, I knew he was gonna be athletic, and I knew he was gonna hit hard, but I also was like banking on he doesn't train formally, and I was like learning a lot about boxing because I started doing it, and after almost getting my ass whipped by Peso, I'm like, if I'm gonna box, I gotta figure out what the fundamentals of boxing are, you know?
Yeah.
And so once I did that, I was like, my whole plan was use the get out of the way like Peso, but I also had to pressure him like 619 did, because I saw how 619, like G Sosa just didn't know what to do. He's like Shinigami, like turning away, like getting tired, like not wanting to engage, you know? And that I knew that would freaking win me the fight, or give me a draw at least, which is, you know, my freaking hallmark at this point, right? But
hey, you know, I mean, a draw is a win, and it's considered a win in Streetbeefs for a reason. It's not so much that both people deserve to win, but it's more that nobody deserves to lose. You know what I mean? And I think That's very important. So yeah, G Sosa, you guys went all the way on that one. That was a solid little banger. That was a solid little banger. You guys both held in there, and I think that draw was a very, very good call on that one.
Nah, yeah, I would if they would have said he won, I wouldn't have even argued it. So
yeah. Let me see. Boy could just put this up here. How close you live to Goodyear? I'm like 30 minutes away from Goodyear, but like if by get some work in you mean training and stuff, nah. But if by get some work in you mean drink some alcohol or something, then I'm in.
So you trained the rest you are for the rest of your life, or what? Like you're done training, or what happened?
I lift weights, and like a week or two before a fight, I'll swim a little bit. That's about it. I don't like training, man. I'm all trained out. Like when I used to train like 10 years ago for Muay Thai, like I would wake up in the morning at like 3 a.m. I'd go run several miles. I'd go to work. I'd get off work, and then I'd go to the Muay Thai gym for like 5 or 6 hours. I'd get there like 5. I would leave till like 9 or 10. A lot of times, 11. And it's just all cardio, kicking, shit like that. Like my knees are bad. I have a torn meniscus right now. My knee's swollen up. It's just not worth it for me. I find I can either train really hard and do some, 5 really good fights, 8 really good fights, or I can just not train and not give a fuck if I win or lose and get, 20 more fights. Because my body's just not like, I don't get it. I don't take a whole bunch of damage during fights, but I take a lot of damage during training. So
I feel it. No, that's like, because when I did the training at the Muay Thai gym, that's when I really realized, like before Mr. Nice Guy fight, I'm like, man, people like breathe this shit. And I'm like, not even in shape, let alone breathing this shit, like, but.
I feel that. So Cimarron. Now, the reason I bring Cimarron up, because that dude is a boxer. That man is a legitimate boxer.
Look, so, and this is what I'm saying is I felt like I'm freaking Jake Paul or something, where I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I know I'm going to get fucked up eventually. So let me like ease my way into getting a real boxer that's going to fuck me up. And so in my head, I'm like, this Cimarron fight, it's the perfect, he like boxes, it's like I was saying about Takamura, where I'm like, I've never seen anything but this fool just box. So I was like, this will get my toes wet into like what a real boxer's like. It was an interesting fight, and there were certain things I was really surprised about. Like, I don't know. Like I knew he's boxing savvy, so he's gonna do what boxers do, but I didn't realize how much like, I don't know, there's a game being played in boxing that like me, I'm just trying to hit you, but there's like a lot more, like that whole first round, he's like baiting me. Like, he's taking the shots and he wants me to punch because he's going to wait till I get tired where I can't move away from him and then knock my head off, And so that's why towards the end, I'm kind of getting tired, but I'm also realizing that he's doing this shit. So I'm like, all right, bro, you got to throw something. I'm putting my chin out there. He almost caught me with that. Like he barely touched me. I was like, all right. But my pride was hurt. So I was like, I got to do it again somehow.
Yeah.
And then,
I'm not going to lie. He outboxed you in that first fight for sure.
Yeah. No,
in that fight.
He's a boxer. And me, I was like, I still had that mentality of like, I put the wrestling pressure or pace or something to like striking, and you can do that a little bit, but it's like, it's a different sport. Like, and
totally different sport.
I think in the middle of the freaking Ryu Sonnen fight, I'm like starting to figure it out. But like, I think in the Doughboy fight, it was like most clear, I know it's different skill level, but it's also like, if you just see my approach and my timing and like just how I did stuff, like with G Sosa, with Cimarron, with Ryu Sonnen, I'm clashing. I'm just always running right into him. They're running right into me. So, there's no really good striking happening, and we're both just like holding on to each other and tiring each other out, but not really, in the pocket, like tearing each other up or something, But what I realized with Cimarron is that's part of his game, though. It's almost like 619 with pressure, but this fool Cimarron's like, he's using his weight and he's just like, he's making me carry him. He's making me, he's like suffocating so I can't get a good strike, but then also he's like shorter so he can still rip to the body, come up top, like he was playing to his distance, which it was really smart.
He's really good with his range too.
Yeah.
He does really well with his range. Now Ryu Sonnen, the OG invasion. Okay, you were a part of that. That's I mean, honestly, the biggest thing that Streetbeefs Westcoast has done thus far, and you were part of it. You were a big part of it.
Yeah, but like that's like literally a dream come true. Like I don't even know how to like. I always wanted to go to that side. I just to make that happen the way it did, like you know, you 609 Sunshine, like you guys really freaking like push that. So props to you guys. But like, man, that shit was amazing. I couldn't miss it.
That was a whole thing.
I paid $100 parking ticket for that shit. So,
woo. Yeah. So, how did you get matched up with? Right, I think it's Ryu. Ryu sent it. How'd you get matched up with him? Because I remember it clearly. But go ahead and tell it for the people.
I feel like it's like I don't know. It's almost like it's like every time that I got with Wild Goose or someone else, it was like the same thing with Ryu. But it was weird because I hit him up directly, like. You know, I really like his fights. He's like, it was kind of the same thing where I want to test myself, but I'm also not trying to get knocked out, you know? Which Ryu's done, it would seem like that situation where it's like, if I'm not careful, if I'm going like, hey, let's do kickboxing, like I very much get put in like a bad position, you know? So with him, I was like, let's do MMA because he fought Big Smile. I was like, I basically told him, we're fighting for 3rd and 4th place. You know what I mean? Like Big Smile and Shinny are 1st and 2nd. And he seemed pretty game about it, but then he was ghost for a little bit, and then it got announced as a kickboxing fight, and I was like, "What?
Like, whoa!" Yep, I remember that shit.
I was like, "Yeah," and I was the same thing where I'm like, "I'm not trying to get knocked out, guys." Like,
so you was in the chat real quick.
How does it affect? It's like when I'm thinking about what I'm gonna fight and how the situation. That's when it really is the only time I'm putting into consideration. Once it's matched up, set up, I'm like, if I get knocked out, you know, it's like. I shouldn't be fighting, you know, it's going to happen, you know? So, but I put into consideration, you know, the type of fight, it's the type of fighter style, freaking what conditioning they're in, what they, you know, what their fights I've seen thus far, shit like that. So, with him, I was like, I know I'm not doing kickboxing, but he was basically going like, oh, you know, like you could just get matched up with someone else or something like that. Like that was the vibe I was getting. So then I was like, well, what about boxing? And I just fought the peso fight at the time, you know, when I was talking to him about it. So it kind of seemed more of like it was an even playing ground because he didn't do boxing yet. And I was more of an MMA fighter. But then, you know, I started doing a bunch of boxing, trying to get ready for him.
Yeah, I'll be honest. When we first talked about that match, we all thought boxing was the way to go for you because kickboxing, he has a clear advantage. MMA, you have a clear advantage. But boxing, both of you guys about even, and obviously it played out in a draw.
Yeah,
so
right. Yeah,
it was a good fight. It was an
and that's another one too. Is like I overestimated certain things, and I underestimated. Like I overestimated his power, but I underestimated like his IQ. Yeah. Because like he was doing the same thing as Cimarron, where it's like he's waiting for me to get tired, except he's in better shape. So he literally threw like 30 unanswered punches to me in like one round because he just saw I was like taking a breath for a second. You know what I mean? So
smart. 619 wants to know who hits harder, Shinny or Sosa?
I mean, I would have to say Sosa, but it's really because, you know, Sosa's not even using his hips, you know? Like, there's not good form. It's just sheer strength, and that shit was, like, for sure, I'm like, that shit just doesn't feel good. I don't know. 619 made it seem like he didn't hit hard. That's why I was like, all right, cool, I can fight G Sosa. But then when I fought him, like, 619 is just freaking, especially after Venom Black, this was just, like, granite. Like, he's just going to take everything.
Nah, Venom Black beat the shit out of him.
Woo. I know, but he just took them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was real close. His eyes was glossed over and shit. He was getting
right, but I'm saying I'm taking a knee the first round and not getting back up. You know what I mean?
All right, I need you to just let me talk shit about 619 for a minute.
Yeah,
just join
I thought if I'm nice about it, he'll leave me alone. But
no, he's gonna keep bugging you about a boxing match till you have.
I'm trying
to get
stroke his ego. It's not working.
Yeah. Yeah. So you fly out there, you do the OG invasion, which was amazing. Like, if anybody doesn't know that, you know, about that invasion, honestly, we might even grab a bunch of just whoever wants to come on, like Wero and the Mexican when it fires back up, and just do an OG invasion and just reminisce about that shit. Maybe one episode, something like that, and then talk about the next invasion. I don't know. We'll see. So you do that. You come back. You take a little while off. not long, and then you fight Doughboy. How'd that get set up? How'd that go?
So honestly, I was so tired of draws.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to fucking rematch and just get a draw done, you know? Or I wanted to fight Dub because I wanted to just make it clear that I'm either not gonna fight for a title or my next fight's for a title. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really where my heart was at. And I was even thinking like maybe I'll fight one, lose to one, and fight the other and make it fair. So then even then I'm still deserve a title shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was really training to fight both of them like hardcore boxing. But when we showed up, bro, there was literally no heavyweights at all, just Doughboy. Yeah. And I mean, I was down to fight him, but I also saw how it was like, I don't know. I like I said, I don't want to fight people I don't want to fight. I've already been that way. So with Doughboy, I was trying to make that clear to him, like, you know, you don't have to fight me, you know, even if we're the only two heavyweights, like, you don't have to fight me. And so he wanted to fight some other dude, and I was like, that's fine. So I was just praying and hoping just G Sosa showed up late or just anyone showed up. Or I guess Doughboy would change his mind. But basically, Doughboy just waited towards the end of the event, and then the dude that was supposed to fight him backed out too. Mm-hmm. And then Doughboy was like, I mean, he's like me, you know, he's just straight honest. He's like, you know, he's like, I don't think this is going to go well for me, but he's like, we're both here. Like, let's fight. You know, I'm like, all right, if you're sure, like, I'm down to fight. And then, you know, he wanted to fight. So we got into it. My goal, because I like the dude. He was like, he's just a soft-hearted, just good young kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a good
So
dude.
I wanted to, like, you know, put a performance, try my best. But I really was like, how do you do the least amount of damage boxing this kid and get him out of there? So I was just ripping to the body. I wanted to practice that anyways, and let Cimarron know, you know what I mean, when we fight next month, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, trust me, that body, I've been working on it. He's getting even worse body shots the next time. But anyways, basically, I was working the body, and Doughboy's just, I don't know what's under there, but he wasn't much affected from it, you know what I mean? No. And then I don't think he hit me hard, but he got me where it was like in my eye. You know what I mean? It kind of scraped my eye, and my eye was kind of weird. And I like, if you watch the video, I like rub it for a second, and then he's like trying to get me. I'm trying to get out of the way, and then I don't know. He like almost caught my chin, but hit my shoulder. And then I was just thinking like, man, I just gotta like turn up. This body's not doing enough. And I was doing so much to the body. I'm like, up top's gotta freaking work by now. And that's what happened. He was like lower guard, so I hit like a 1-2, and then he was a little dazed. But he was like dazed, like drop his hands, like just gonna let me knock him out, you know? Yeah. And I've never knocked anyone out before. I really do want to knock somebody out, but I don't want to knock Doughboy.
But you don't want to get knocked out.
Yeah, I don't want to get knocked out. And that's what I'm saying. Like that karma, like I didn't want it on my conscience or in life. And but as I'm like going like, hey, I don't want to hit him anymore. Battleborn's like already kind of jumping in and doing the count, which they cut that out, which I'm glad they did, because I kind of look like an overreacting dickhead. But he hit the 8 count, and then I'm still like in the corner, like really going like, there was some other dude, which it was funny because I thought it was funny when he did this shit where he's like fighting this younger kid. He was like beating him. He actually wasn't beating him. He was grappling with him, but he was in a better position than the other dude. And then he just tapped and was like, I don't want to fight anymore. And I was just like, what the like, what, why'd you come here if you don't want to like hurt the dude? But in that second round, or after I dazed Doughboy, I genuinely thought like of just like not fighting anymore and not keep fighting. Like just let him have the win, you know? But my pride, whatever. And Doughboy was like legitimately like balls of steel, just wanted to keep fighting. I was just like, all right, I'm going to freaking keep fighting. And then we go into we're at the break, right? Like, and I'm deciding like, what's it called? In between rounds, I'm deciding what to do. Yeah. And everyone's giving me advice. I like really didn't have a corner like that, but everyone's
like 40 people screaming at you. Yep. Yeah.
So everyone's giving their thing. Some people, you know, like line into the body more. Other people like take them out. And I just told my girl, I just looked at my girl. I'm like, do I finish it or do I keep trying to do this body shit? You know what I mean? And she's like, stop fucking with them. Like, get it over with. And then I was like, all right. And then I came to the second one, like just trying to tee off. Like I really like, if I didn't want to knock him out, drop him, anything like that, I just wanted him to not want to fight anymore. And, you know, that happened after it was like a jab, 1-2. And then he was dazed and I just ripped to the body as hard as I could. And then
2 times.
It was over.
One left, one right. Yeah, it was. Daniel had a good question right here. How did you feel when you got most improved heart in the fight award?
Man, it was just such a blessing. Like I was hella hyped about it. I felt like a failure missing it. You know what I mean? Like not being there for it. And I like Daniel hit me up about it, and he didn't tell me I was getting anything, but I didn't realize like to be on there. Thought I watch it later anyways, you know, like I was watching it. Like I didn't even know I was most improved. So when I did watch it after the fact, I was like, oh shit. Like I was hyped about it. We all have that group chat or whatever. So like I saw you guys talking, but I didn't know who got most improved. So but
it was you, bro.
Yeah.
Did you get your little trophy and everything?
Huh?
Did you get your little trophy and everything?
No, I still haven't got it. I'm about to get it at the event, the next one.
Okay,
I think Martin has it for me.
Yeah, he might.
But that trophy's so sick, and
it's so dope. I got mine set at the house. So pretty cool.
I always freaking hit up Daniel and let him know, but freaking Heart in the Fight's like just the sickest thing, and it's like I don't know. It's such a. I'm so glad they created it and how they keep freaking building off of it like this. It's just so sick, and
Daniel's amazing. Daniel's legitimately amazing. Like there's not a lot of words that you can use other than that. Like he's such a good down to earth dude, and he's very talented with just about everything he does. Very intelligent man too. Yeah, he's big too. I don't know if did y'all meet him at the we went to one of the events.
Yeah, he's a tall dude.
He just walked in, he was like, sup? And I was like, oh damn. Like you see him, you don't look that big, but he fucking showed up big as shit. Yeah. So yeah. What is in the future for Streetbender? Because I know you have mentioned several times, like every time we turn around, you're like, Streetbender's retired, he's done, fuck this, I'm out. You know what I mean? I hear it a lot.
Yeah. Well, this is what happens every time I like don't do anything and my life is just freaking I don't know. You've got kids, you've had a 3-year-old, they're freaking crazy. Well, then put like a baby mama, a girlfriend, a bunch of other bullshit. It's just hectic. So then somewhere in my head, I'm like, well, I want to train because that at least is like healthy. And then I got this bag right here or right there, and I'll hit that thing. And then my freaking hand, like, yeah, my hand's just messed up. It'll be like a pain, like from my hand, like through my wrist, like forearm. It's screwed. I think maybe it's like, cause I didn't know how to punch, you know? So it's like bad form, but then like, even with good form now, it's just like my wrist. It was from the spinning back fist from Mr. Nice Guy. I like hit forehead.
It was. Yeah.
And it was like part of my wrist, part of my back of my hand. And there's like, what the doctor said, it's like scar tissue, but it's bone. So basically like I hit it so hard, it like swelled up and then it's just going to stay that way. You know, like the bone under is really sensitive and like,
damn. That does not sound fun.
Yeah, it's no fun. But anyway, so basically, then I don't fight, and then I'm like, fuck it. Well, I don't train, and then I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna fight, and then I get after it. I mean, I'm kind of like you in the sense of like, fuck, I don't really care about win or losing, how my record goes. I mean, boxing's been going great for me, but you know, every dog has their day, right? So I'm more of like trying to go long. I know I'm way younger, but I'm still like longevity, like through the injuries I've accrued, like when I had that second fight with Shinigami, I kicked him hella like as hard as I could on his elbow, and like my foot is just the whole top of it's like it's still like discolored. It's just there's no face.
In your second fight, he kicked you too, and he caught it right on the you checked it with a knee, and he caught it right on the knee. I was like, ooh, that looked like it fucking hurt.
Yeah, that's that. I give that to the freaking Burrito MMA. That's freaking Kilo's like Muay Thai coach. That fool fucking. Taught me how to stand and hold my hands and how to fucking throw a punch like a man.
Sure. So the question a lot of people want to know is, do you have a set number of fights you want to get and then quit? Or are you just going to, every time you fight, be like, this is it, but then we'll see you next month?
Right. So me, I'm like goal oriented, you know, like with wrestling, I wanted to freaking not lose in leagues and then not lose in subsections and then not lose in masters, go to state, all that. It didn't work that way, but it was like my goal. And then until I'm physically proven like, hey, bro, you're not getting past this point, I'm just like, just keep going for it, you know? So after the Shinigami fight, I was like, I've watched Street Beefs growing up my whole life. I want to put a stamp on it where like it just can't be taken away from me. And
Yeah.
I think winning a Streetbeefs West Coast belt when it's at the infancy, it's like in 20 years, there's gonna be kids fighting for a Streetbeefs West Coast belt. Like that's just it's such a sick thing that I'm like, however I can freaking touch a belt, that's what I'm trying to do. And so I mean, me and Cimarron are gonna see.
Streetbeefs West Coast Hall.
Dude, that's not gonna get you a fight with me, bro. I don't care what you compliment.
Bro, hey, for anybody who don't know, 619 been at Streetbender in the group chat, just hardcore. Just
it's like what he
gagging him
does
for
to
a boxing
TME
match.
publicly, he does to me privately.
Yeah,
Like,
he does. Yeah.
It's
So
not right.
we've heard you call out a few people after your fights. You know.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Who? I've heard you call out Dub, a couple other people.
Right. So that's why I was explaining my whole spiel. Right, is my heart was set on get a belt. Right, and once Nasty Native fucking just raw dog Shinigami, I was like, MMA's over with.
I'm sorry. What did he do?
He raw dogged him.
He raw dogged Shinigami.
He raw dogged Shinigami, and I was like, Shinigami
fucking real good.
whooped my ass, right? So I'm gonna fucking get raw dogged by Nasty Native. So I was like, the MMA belt, that's not happening. Yeah. But Nasty Native was like, oh, I'm gonna relinquish that belt. And then what people don't know is freaking before my Shinigami fight, right? The night before they did the sparring thing like they do all the time, but it was fucking what's his face's place, pound for pound. And what's his face was there. I forgot his name. Alfredo.
Yeah, Coach Alfredo.
Yeah, Coach Alfredo. So
Coach Alfredo.
He was there, and Nasty Native was there. Dangerous was there.
Hold on, look at it. Look. He said, "Fuck you for putting it that way." Nah, man, bro. Shinny took that D, bro. That big old Arkansas D.
You're not the first or the last person Nasty Native is gonna do that to you. So it's really, like you still have balls.
We call
like
him Nasty Native for a reason.
Fighting him. Like,
yeah, there's.
But anyways, where was I at? So my goal is the belt, right? And freaking, I was trying for G Sosa, I was trying for Dub. They're not really active like that, and I know they try to push this in the group, but I think people don't let it sink in that it's like you need to be active, you need to be posting, you need to be showing up when you get selected. You need to be in the mix of stuff, you know what I mean? And people think like, oh, I shouldn't have to do all that. It's like, dude, in anything in life, you're gonna have to put some work into it, you know? So it's like, but anyway, so I was trying to get with G Sosa, Dub. They both seemed down. I mean, both of them realistically could whoop my ass, you know? There's a chance I could whoop their ass too, but it's not like they're afraid to fight me, but they're just not showing up. They're not, you know?
They're just not as active as a lot of because this is a hobby for a lot of us.
Thinking maybe they'll show up, you know, and I know they will. Freaking G Sosa showed up at the fight. I mean, at the event that got freaking shut down, and I was like, oh shit, now I'm gonna freaking have to fight this fool and Cimarron. But and that fool was looking beefy.
Would you do two fights? Would you do two fights in one event?
Yeah. So this is my thing: is I'm like Jorge Masvidal trying to do legacy fights. You know what I mean? Like I want it to mean something. I don't want to just. I've already done that over and over. Just fought to fight. You know. So the Doughboy one, I was literally trying to fight 2 fights in one day. I told Martin like I wanted to fight Cimarron and G Sosa that day because I knew Cimarron was gonna come, and G Sosa I was like he lives there, maybe he'll show up. And they were all for it. I was even trying to do it where they had how Drama fought at the gym the day before.
Yeah.
I was trying to set that up where I fought one of them in the gym, like Cimarron at his gym, and then the next day fight or whatever. But I've always wanted to fight 2 times in one day just to say I fought 2 times in one day. That's just that's the street beefs to me. Like when I watch it, like see people just savages, you know,
just mobbing. Yeah, like that shit's so impressive to me. Like Fair Play, Big Daddy Williams, some of those guys that do 2-3 fights in a day. Fuck that shit.
People don't realize even if they fuck the dude up, they hurt their hand hitting a skull. Their shin hurts, their foot hurts. Like they didn't go into it the second
take
fight
damage.
Like, all perfect.
Yeah, you take damage.
So that's they're more savage than me. But
because
I didn't really.
So we're going to see
as a fan, but
we're going to see more Streetbender, correct?
Yeah, so this is the way it's worked out as far as I'm understanding, you know, who knows, you know, and we have to play by ear. You know, things change, COVID and all that bullshit. But I'm trying to be at the next event and I'm trying to fight Cimarron.
At the next event, the March event, the one in Arizona.
Yes, yep. Because again, I'm trying to get a belt. I've already fucking been to Vegas. I don't know how many times. I don't even go out, bro. I just go to the hotel, fight, come home, like right after, like as soon as it's over.
Yep.
So
well, not the same.
So through all that
drinking too.
Yeah, no, I know you're fucking partying regardless, even at home. And my shit's an 8-hour drive, so. But and that's not taking a break, so it's really more like 10. But so I was really like, I'm trying to go somewhere different. So I want to go to the Arizona one, you know what I mean? And then I'm trying to get a belt. So I just think it's a perfect scenario. I don't know how it works as far as I don't know if this is fucking like behind the scenes bullshit or whatever, but you know, I'm trying to fight Cimarron or whatever, and I think he's gonna show up. I think we're gonna fight for the belt.
Yeah. Have you talked to Martin and Alex about it?
Our fight was a unanimous decision for me or whatever, or split decision. I don't fucking know, but it was for me, just me. But even I was like, I mean, he literally rocked me, put me down. People thought I tripped or something, but I was like, I was dazed. You know, like he clipped me on the chin. I was walking backwards like an idiot. Like he caught me. So
he did.
And he was outboxing me. I just was out hustling him. But so for me, I was like, I saw a draw, or even if they did give him a win, like it is what it is. Yeah. So for them to give it to me, I felt kind of bad for him. And he literally, out of everyone, like this fool will not even fight, and he's still showing up to events. You know what I mean? Like, like he's just consistent. So
Cimarron dope as fuck.
Yeah, and I haven't heard back from Sunshine. I don't know if they did the official review yet, but we tried to do it where they reverse the decision. So so maybe he'll reverse that, and then he'll be 3-0. So then we'll so that's my goal.
That'd be good.
That'd
be good. You guys banging out, yeah. Be dope, especially out here in AZ.
I don't know how my hand will be. I kind of fucking would like to fight twice, but definitely not 619. He can go fuck himself. But,
go fuck yourself, 619.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
But I don't know.
But as long as we get to see more Streetbender, like that's what it is. Because we've heard you mention a couple times you want to retire. We want to see more Streetbender.
Yeah, for me. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm trying to. I mean, you told me to be long-winded, but I feel like you fucked up because I'm long-winded.
No, I just said don't be afraid to talk. Some people get on here and afraid to talk.
Nah, I got you. I've done podcasts and shit like myself. So I like
what I would suggest, just go get that hand checked out and let it heal, man. Don't force it.
Bro,
you're young.
This is why I said I was gonna retire. Is guys, I got it checked out, and I was like, "What do I do? Take a break? Do this?" He's like, "Do whatever you want. It's not gonna get better. It's only can get worse." I'm like, "What? Like nothing's gonna fix it?" He's like, "It's just like," I'm like, "Well, like, is the bump gonna heal? Is it not gonna have that type of damage?" And he's like, "That's not gonna go away." You know what I mean? But he's like, it could turn into arthritis and all types of shit through over damage of it. So I mean, I don't know. For me, I'm like,
fuck it.
Yeah, that's me. I'm like, I don't want to be a bitch about it, but like, I want to be able to open a door with my dominant hands, you know? So
we'll just have your girl do it. Be like, hey, you got to get the door from now on.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I already write like shit, so it doesn't really matter. But but anyways, my plan is to fight for that. Obviously, hopefully win the belt, you know, not get caught, put on a dominant performance. And then I want to just get healthy. Probably not fucking train a lot because of my hand, but more of like exercise a lot. Like maybe even fucking pick up a weight or two. Don't get crazy. And cut hella weight, especially because 619 said I could never get to 205. So I really just want to fucking like, you know.
Bro, that's the pot calling the kettle black right there. That motherfucker ain't seen under 200 pounds.
Well, no,
since
I think
like
I deserve it. I deserve it because I told him like, you have to get up to heavyweight to fight me. And then when you can, you're never going to go back down because you're old as shit. And so you can't lose it. And so after that, I feel like he was just hurt.
Y'all do be going back and forth in the chat.
Yeah, I deserved it. But so I want to do that fight. And then freaking, I don't know if you saw the post, but freaking Face said he's going to retire after 4 fights with BLK Prime. And I commented, same thing I said, right? Sugar versus vinegar. And I told him how much he's changed my life, how much I like him and respect him, but I would love to be one of those last fights, you know? And He said he's
That might
game. He said I could be his third to last fight. So.
Whoa, that'd be dope. Yeah,
Yeah,
we didn't know that. Okay. Yeah,
so,
that's awesome.
Yeah, but I told him I'm heavyweight right now. You know what I mean? I'm like a legit heavyweight right now.
Bro, he's fought some big boys. So
no, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I
fighting One-Eyed Wolf is like 260.
Well, I wouldn't want to fight the 1916. So like that fool. I don't want to fight Face, to be honest. Like, but I'm like that. Even if he puts me to sleep or something, I'm like, that's a fight to end it on. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's just,
absolutely.
So for me, especially knowing he's wrapping it up too, it's just like, I don't know. There's almost like I couldn't have come into Street Beefs and done anything else. You know what I mean? Like, if I fight twice in one day, get a belt, freaking literally box Face, like on a stage for 6 rounds, what more could I? You know, that's fucking.
Hey, Martin, Alex, pay attention to this. Arizona event. We need to have 2, 3, 4 opponents for Streetbender. He going out in style.
Hell yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. No, I might fight 619 for the 3rd fight, just to fucking, you know what I mean? And because maybe he'll be nice to me.
Nah, he'll be nice to everybody. He just patty cakes people anyway. But
yeah.
Streetbender, my man. I was gonna say I appreciate having you on. Did you have something else?
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, he was freaking giving it to Venom Black. He was trying his best.
He was. I mean, 619 did what 619 does. Yeah, I mean,
and I have pillow hands, like literally. Yeah. So it's like
I give 619 a lot of shit, but he's dope. All right, my man. I appreciate having you on, bro. You have a good night, homie.
Yeah, have a good one. Late.
All right, later. Where's that shit at? Bang. Nope. One of these. That one. Okay. So, man, I appreciate having everybody on. Appreciate you guys watching. I know that was a long one, but that was dope as fuck getting to know Streetbender, man. He's such a cool ass dude. Tomorrow we got Demon Monsoon, and then Friday Face is gonna be on. And then Thursday we got a whole another episode of some other stuff. So you guys keep it real, man. I'll see everybody later.